Let's Go Eevee will chew on anything with its fangs. If you see one, it is certain that 40 more live in the area. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. Rattata is cautious in the extreme. Even while it is asleep, it constantly listens by moving its ears around. It is not picky about where it lives. It will make its nest anywhere. Pokemon Moon. With their strong capacity for survival, they can live in dirty places without concern. Left unchecked, their numbers multiply rapidly. Pokemon Ultra Sun. Its incisors grow continuously throughout its life. If its incisors get too long, this Pokemon becomes unable to eat, and it starves to death. Eradicate. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Pokemon Leaf Green. It uses its whiskers to maintain its balance. It apparently slows down if they are cut off. Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Heart Gold gnaws on anything with its tough fangs. It can even topple concrete buildings by gnawing on them. Pokemon Moon. Its disposition is far more violent than its looks would suggest. Don't let your hand get too close to its face, as it could bite your hand clean off. Pokemon Ultra Sun. People say that it fled from its enemies by using its small webbed hind feet to swim from island to island. In Alola. Meows. Pokemon Crystal and Pokemon Violet. It loves things that sparkle. When it sees a shiny object, the gold coin on its head shines too. Pokemon Fire Red and Pokemon Scarlet. All it does is sleep during the daytime. At night, it patrols its territory with its eyes aglow. Pokemon Ultra Sun. When visiting a junkyard, you may catch sight of it having an intense fight with Murkrow over shiny objects. Pokemon Ultra Moon. It loves coins. So if you give it one, you can make friends with Meowth easily. But it's fickle, so you can't count on that friendship lasting. Gigantamaxed Meowth. Pokemon Sword. The pattern that has appeared on its giant coin is thought to be the key to unlocking the secrets of the Dynamax phenomenon. Pokemon Shield. Its body has grown incredibly long, and the coin on its forehead has grown incredibly large, all thanks to Gigantamax's power. Persian. Pokemon Crystal. Behind its lithe, elegant appearance lies a barbaric side. It will tear apart its prey on a mere whim. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Persian has 6 bold whiskers that give it a look of toughness. The whiskers sense air movements to determine what is in the Pokemon's surrounding vicinity. It becomes docile if grabbed by the whiskers. Pokemon Ultra Moon. This Pokemon is popular with rich people. It's also targeted by hunters who are after the jewel in its forehead. Pokemon Shield. Its elegant and refined behavior clashes with that of the barbaric Berserker. The relationship between the two is one of mutual disdain. Lick-a-tongue, 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 lick-a-tongue. Pokemon Yellow, Let's Go Pikachu, and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Its tongue spans almost 7 feet and moves more freely than its forelegs. Its legs can cause paralysis. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Whenever Lickitung comes across something new, it will unfailingly give it a lick. It does so because it memorizes things by texture and by taste. It is somewhat put off by sour things. Pokemon Platinum and Pokemon Black and White. When it extends its over 6-foot long tongue, its tail quivers. There is a possibility they are connected. Pokemon Ultramoon. It licks filth clean with its tongue. Whatever it licks always stinks afterward, so whether it's really clean is questionable. Pokemon Shield. Bug Pokemon are Lickitung's main food source. This Pokemon paralyzes its prey with a lick from its long tongue, then swallows the prey whole. Chansey. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Chansey lays nutritionally excellent eggs on an everyday basis. The eggs are so delicious, they are easily and eagerly devoured by even those people who have lost their appetite. Pokemon Pearl and Pokemon Shining Pearl. It lays several eggs a day and won't share them with those who have evil in their hearts. Pokemon Ultramoon. Because the eggs on their bellies have been over-harvested by people in the past, the Chansey population remains very small. Pokemon Sword. The egg Chansey carries is not only delicious, but also packed with nutrition. It's used as a high-class cooking ingredient. Pokemon Shield. This species was once very slow. To protect their eggs from other creatures, these Pokemon became able to flee quickly. Pokemon Legends Arceus. This pure-hearted Pokemon shares its eggs with the injured. These eggs are so nutritious that they've been nicknamed Doctor's Doubles. Kangaskhan. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Pokemon Leaf Green. The infant rarely ventures out of its mother's protective pouch until it is 3 years old. Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Soul Silver. To protect its young. It will never give up during battle, no matter how badly wounded it is. Pokemon Crystal. To avoid crushing the baby it carries in its pouch, it always sleeps standing up. Pokemon Sun. Kangaskhan's maternal love is so deep that it will brave death to protect its offspring. Pokemon Moon. The child in its pouch leaves home after roughly 3 years. That is the only time the mother is heard to cry wildly. Pokemon Shield. There are records of a lost human child being raised by a childless Kangaskhan. Mega Kangaskhan. Pokemon Sun. Mega Kangaskhan's strength derives from the mother's happiness about her child's growth. Watching it grow up keeps her spirits high. Pokemon Ultra Moon. When the mother sees the back of her Mega Evolved child, it makes her think of the day when her child will inevitably leave her. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Its child has grown rapidly thanks to the energy of Mega Evolution. Mother and child show their harmonious teamwork in battle. Tauros. Pokemon Yellow, Let's Go Pikachu, and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. A rowdy Pokemon with a lot of stamina. Once running, it won't stop until it hits something. Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Soul Silver. After heightening its will to fight by whipping itself with its 3 tails, it charges at full speed. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. This Pokemon is not satisfied unless it is rampaging at all times. If there is no opponent for Tauros to battle, it will charge at thick trees and knock them down to calm itself. Pokemon Sun. Historically, people in areas all over the world have ridden Tauros, but the practice is said to have started in Alola. Pokemon Ultra Moon. The climate seems to be related to the reason Tauros in Alola are a little calmer than those in other regions. Ditto. Pokemon Gold and Heart Gold. It can transform into anything. When it sleeps, it changes into a stone to avoid being attacked. Pokemon Silver, Soul Silver, and Pokemon Scarlet. Its transformation ability is perfect. However, if made to laugh, it can't maintain its disguise. Pokemon Black and White 2 and Pokemon Sword. It can reconstitute its entire cellular structure to change into what it sees, but it returns to normal when it relaxes. Pokemon Sun. It can reorganize its cells to make itself into a duplicate of anything it sees. The quality of the duplicate depends on the individual. Pokemon Moon. With its astonishing capacity for metamorphosis, it can get along with anything. It does not get along well with its fellow Ditto. Pokemon Ultra Moon. It transforms into whatever it sees. If the thing it's transforming into isn't right in front of it, Ditto relies on its memory. So, sometimes it fails. Eevee. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Pokemon Leaf Green. Its genetic code is irregular. It may mutate if it is exposed to radiation from element stones. Pokemon Black and White 2, Pokemon Y, and Pokemon Shield. Thanks to its unstable genetic makeup, this special Pokemon conceals many different possible evolutions. Pokemon Ultra Sun. The question of why only Eevee has such unstable genes has still not been solved. Pokemon Ultra Moon. Its genes are easily influenced by its surroundings. Even its face starts to look like that of its trainer. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. It can evolve into a variety of forms. Eevee's genes are the key to solving the mysteries of Pokemon evolution. Gigantamaxed Eevee. Pokemon Sword. Gigantamax energy upped the fluffiness of the fur around Eevee's neck. The fur will envelop a foe, capturing its body and captivating its mind. innocent, Eevee tries to play with anyone around, only to end up crushing them with its immense body. Porygon. Pokemon Yellow Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. The only Pokemon people anticipate can fly into space. None has managed the feat yet, however. Pokemon Gold and Heart Gold. It is a man-made Pokemon. Since it doesn't breathe, people are eager to try it in any environment. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Porygon is capable of reverting itself entirely back to program data and entering cyberspace. This Pokemon is copy protected, so it cannot be duplicated by copying. Pokemon Ultra Sun. This Pokemon was created using the cutting-edge science of 20 years ago. So many parts of it have since become obsolete. Pokemon Shield. In recent years, this species has been very helpful in cyberspace. These Pokemon will go around checking to make sure no suspicious data exists. Pokemon Legends Arceus. It has no discernible heartbeat and does not seem to draw breath, and yet it appears to function without issue. I cannot even begin to explain this utterly bizarre anomaly. Snorlax. Pokemon Yellow Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. It will eat anything, even if the food happens to be a little moldy. It never gets an upset stomach. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Snorlax's typical day consists of nothing more than eating and sleeping. It is such a docile Pokemon that there are children who use its expansive belly as a place to play. Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon X, and Pokemon Sword. It is not satisfied unless it eats over 880 pounds of food every day. When it is done eating, it goes promptly to sleep. Pokemon Sun. Its stomach is said to be incomparably strong. Even Muk's poison is nothing more than a hint of spice on Snorlax's tongue. Pokemon Legends Arceus. This glutton appears in villages without warning and devours the entirety of their rice granaries. Such occurrences have long been counted among the gravest of disasters. Gigantamaxed Snorlax. Pokemon Sword. Gigantamax energy has affected stray seeds and even pebbles that got stuck to Snorlax, making them grow to a huge size. Pokemon Shield. Terrifyingly strong, this Pokemon is the size of a mountain and moves about as much as one as well. Sentret. Pokemon Crystal and Pokemon X. When acting as a lookout, it warns others of danger by screeching and hitting the ground with its tail. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. When Sentret sleeps, it does so while another stands guard. The sentry wakes the others at the first sign of danger. When this Pokemon becomes separated from its pack, it becomes incapable of sleep due to fear. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black and White 2, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. It has a very nervous nature. It stands up high on its tail so it can scan wide areas. Furret. Pokemon Silver, Fire Red, and Pokemon Soul Silver. There is no telling where the tale begins. Despite its short legs, it is quick and likes to chase Rattata. Pokemon Crystal. It lives in narrow burrows that fit its slim body. The deeper the nests go, the more maze-like they become. A-bomb, 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 A-bomb. A-bomb. Pokemon Gold, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, and Pokemon Y. Its tail is so powerful that it can use it to grab a tree branch and hold itself up in the air. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. A-Bomb's tail ends in a hand-like appendage that can be cleverly manipulated. However, because the Pokemon uses its tail so much, its real hands have become rather clumsy. Pokemon Pearl and Shining Pearl. It lives atop giant trees. It wraps its tail around a branch so it won't fall off while asleep. Pokemon Ultra Moon. It searches for prey from the tops of the trees. When it spots its favorite food Bonsweet, A-Bomb gets excited and pounces. Dunsparce. Pokemon Silver, Fire Red, Soul Silver, and Pokemon Violet. If spotted, it escapes by burrowing with its tail. It can float just slightly using its wings. Pokemon Crystal. It hides deep inside caves where no light ever reaches it and remains virtually motionless there. Pokemon Ultra Sun. It travels by digging through the ground. Diglett and Dunsparce share one another's tunnels happily. Pokemon Sword. This Pokemon's tiny wings have some scientists saying that Dunsparce used to fly through the sky in ancient times. Pokemon Shield. The nests Dunsparce live in are mazes of tunnels. They never get lost in their own nest. They can tell where they are by the scent of the dirt. Teddiursa. Pokemon Gold, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, and Pokemon X. If it finds honey, its crescent mark glows. It always licks its paws because they're soaked with honey. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. This Pokemon likes to lick its palms that are sweetened by being soaked in honey. Teddiursa concocts its own honey by blending fruits and pollen collected by Beedrill. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black and White 2, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. It lets honey soak into its paws so it can lick them all the time. Every set of paws tastes unique. Pokemon Scarlet. This Pokemon discreetly follows Combee to find their hive. It scoops up big dollops of honey in its palms to eat. Ursaring. Pokemon Silver, Fire Red, Soul Silver, and Pokemon X. With its ability to distinguish any aroma, it unfailingly finds all food buried deep underground. Pokemon Legends Arceus. When the cold season arrives in Hisui, this Pokemon will wander fields and mountains alike in search of its favorite berries. Ursaring's hunger during this time makes it a ferocious danger. Pokemon Scarlet. It usually wears a hardened expression, but when it's licking up honey, which it loves, the joy it feels will cause it to break into a wide grin. Pokemon Violet. It is quite skilled at climbing trees. If it comes across a primate while searching for berries in the treetops, trouble will surely ensue. Porygon 2. Pokemon Gold, Leaf Green, and Pokemon Heart Gold. This upgraded version of Porygon is designed for space exploration. It can't fly though. Pokemon Silver, Fire Red, Soul Silver, and Pokemon X. Further research enhanced its abilities. Sometimes it may exhibit motions that were not programmed. Pokemon Moon. Porygon was updated to a new version in readiness for planetary development, but that dream remains unrealized as yet. Pokemon Shield. After artificial intelligence was implemented in Porygon 2, the Pokemon began using a strange language that only other Porygon do understand. Stadler. Pokemon Gold, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, and Pokemon Y. The curved antlers subtly change the flow of air to create a strange space where reality is distorted. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Stadler's magnificent antlers were traded at high prices as works of art. As a result, this Pokemon was hunted close to extinction by those who were after the priceless antlers. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black and White 2, Pokemon X, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. Staring at its antlers creates an odd sensation, as if one were being drawn into their centers. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Its strangely shaped antlers have the power to bewitch those who see them. Medicine made by grinding up the black orbs from fallen antlers is an effective treatment for insomnia. Pokemon Violet. It's said that this Pokemon used to be stronger long ago when it had many enemies, and that it was even able to evolve under its own power. Smeargle. Pokemon Crystal. The color of the mysterious fluid secreted from its tail is predetermined for each Smeargle. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black and White 2, Pokemon X, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. It marks its territory by using its tail like a paintbrush. There are more than 5,000 different marks. Pokemon Moon. It draws symbols all over the place to mark its territory. In towns with many Smeargle, the walls are covered in graffiti. Pokemon Ultra Sun. The fluid of Smeargle's tail secretion changes in the intensity of its hue as the Pokemon's emotions change. Miltank. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Miltank gives over 5 gallons of milk on a daily basis. Its sweet milk is enjoyed by children and grown-ups alike. People who can't drink milk turn it into yogurt and eat it instead. Pokemon Moon. Most people raise it for its milk, but it's quite tough and strong, so it's also well suited for battle. Pokemon Sword. Miltank produces highly nutritious milk, so it's been supporting the lives of people and other Pokemon since ancient times. Pokemon Shield. This Pokemon needs to be milked every day, or else it will fall ill. The flavor of Miltank milk changes with the seasons. Blissey. Pokemon Platinum, Black and White 2, Pokemon X, and Pokemon Violet. The eggs it lays are filled with happiness. Eating even one bite will bring a smile to anyone. Pokemon Moon. Its fluffy fur coat acts as a sensor, enabling it to read the feelings of people and Pokemon. Pokemon Ultra Sun. Their eggs are such a delicacy that some say eating one will bring you happiness. These eggs fetch the highest prices on the market. Pokemon Ultra Moon. This Pokemon is overflowing with love. Only Chansey that share a strong bond with their trainer can evolve. So people say. Pokemon Shield. Blissey lays mysterious eggs that are filled with happiness. It's said that anyone who eats a Blissey egg will start acting kindly to all others. Zigzagoon, 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 Zigzagoon. Zigzagoon. Pokemon Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire. The hair on Zigzagoon's back is bristly. It rubs the hard back hair against trees to leave its territorial markings. This Pokemon may play dead to fool foes in battle. Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Pokemon Y. A Pokemon with abundant curiosity. It shows an interest in everything, so it always zigzags. Pokemon Emerald. Rubbing its nose against the ground, it always wanders about back and forth in search of something. It is distinguished by the zigzag footprints it leaves. Linoon. Linoon. Pokemon Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire. When hunting, Linoon will make a beeline straight for the prey at a full run. While this Pokemon is capable of topping 60 miles per hour, it has to come to a screeching halt before it can turn. Pokemon Emerald. It is exceedingly fast if it only has to run in a straight line. When it spots pond-dwelling prey underwater, it quickly leaps in and catches it with its sharp claws. Pokemon Sword. Its fur is strong and supple. Shaving brushes made with shed Linoon hairs are highly prized. Slackoth, Slackoth, Slackoth. Slackoth. Pokemon Ruby, Omega Ruby. Pokemon Ruby and Omega Ruby. Slackoth lolls around for over 20 hours every day. Because it moves so little, it does not need much food. This Pokemon's sole daily meal consists of just 3 leaves. Pokemon Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire. Slackoth's heart beats just once a minute. Whatever happens, it is content to loaf around motionless. It is rare to see this Pokemon in motion. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black and White, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. It spends nearly all its time in a day sprawled out. Just seeing it makes one drowsy. Vigoroth, 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 Vigoroth. Pokemon Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire. Vigoroth is simply incapable of remaining still. Even when it tries to sleep, the blood in its veins grows agitated, compelling this Pokemon to run wild throughout the jungle before it can settle down. Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Pokemon Violet. It is always hungry because it won't stop rampaging. Even while it is eating, it can't keep still. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black and White, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. Its heart beats at a tenfold tempo, so it cannot sit still for even a moment. Slacking, slacking, slacking. Slacking. Pokemon Ruby and Omega Ruby. Slacking spends all day lying down and lolling about. It eats grass growing within its reach. If it eats all the grass it can reach, this Pokemon reluctantly moves to another spot. Pokemon Fire Red. Pokemon Scarlet. It is the world's most slothful Pokemon. However, it can exert horrifying power by releasing pent-up energy all at once. Pokemon Emerald. Hordes of slacking gather around trees when fruits come into season. They wait around patiently for ripened fruits to fall out of the trees. Whismer, 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 whismer. Pokemon Ruby and Omega Ruby. Normally, Whismer's voice is very quiet. It is barely audible even if one is paying close attention. However, if this Pokemon senses danger, it starts crying at an ear-splitting volume. Pokemon Sword. The cry of a Whismer is over 100 decibels. If you're close to a Whismer when it lets out a cry, you'll be stuck with an all-day headache. Pokemon Shield. When Whismer cries, the sound of its own voice startles it, making the Pokemon cry even louder. It cries until it's exhausted. Then it falls asleep. Loudred, 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 Loudred. Pokemon Ruby and Omega Ruby. Loudred's bellowing can completely decimate a wood frame house. It uses its voice to punish its foes. This Pokemon's round ears serve as loudspeakers. Pokemon Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire. Loudred shouts while stamping its feet. After it finishes shouting, this Pokemon becomes incapable of hearing anything for a while. This is considered to be a weak point. Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Pokemon X. It shouts loudly by inhaling air, and then uses its well-developed stomach muscles to exhale. Explode. Explode. Pokemon Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire. Explode communicates its feelings to the others by emitting whistle-like sounds from the tubes on its body. This Pokemon only raises its voice when it is in battle. Pokemon Sword. In the past, people would use the loud voices of these Pokemon as a means of communication between distant cities. Skitty, 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 skitty. Pokemon Ruby and Omega Ruby. Skitty has the habit of becoming fascinated by moving objects and chasing them around. This Pokemon is known to chase after its own tail and become dizzy. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. It is said to be difficult to earn its trust. However, it is extremely popular for its cute looks and behavior. Delcatty. Pokemon Ruby and Omega Ruby. Delcatty prefers to live an unfettered existence in which it can do as it pleases at its own pace. Because this Pokemon eats and sleeps whenever it decides. Its daily routines are completely random. Pokemon Emerald. Rather than keeping a permanent lair, it habitually seeks comfortable spots and sleeps there. It is nocturnal and becomes active at dusk. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Black and White, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. It is highly popular among female trainers for its sublime fur. It does not keep a nest. Spinda. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. No two Spinda are said to have identical patterns. It confuses foes with its stumbling motions. Pokemon Sun. Its steps are staggering and unsteady, but Spinda thinks it's walking in a straight line. Pokemon Moon. Each and every Spinda has a slightly different configuration of spots. There are collectors who enjoy the tiny differences in their spot patterns. Zangoose, Pokemon Ruby and Omega Ruby. Memories of battling its arch-rival Seviper are etched into every cell of Zangoose's body. This Pokemon adroitly dodges attacks with incredible agility. Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Pokemon X, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. It has feuded with Seviper for many generations. Its sharp claws are its biggest weapons. Cast form. Pokemon Sun. It changes its form depending on the weather. Changes in the temperature or humidity appear to affect its cellular structure. Pokemon Ultra Sun. Although its form changes with the weather, that is apparently the result of a chemical reaction and not the result of its own free will. Kecleon, 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 Kecleon. Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Omega Ruby. Kecleon is capable of changing its body's colors at will to blend in with its surroundings. There is one exception. This Pokemon can't change the zigzag pattern on its belly. Pokemon Ultra Sun. It changes its hue to blend into its surroundings. If no one takes notice of it for too long, it will pout and never reveal itself. Pokemon Ultra Moon. Its color changes for concealment and also when its mood or health changes. The darker the color, the healthier it is. Bidoof. Bidoof. Pokemon Diamond, Pokemon X, Omega Ruby, and Brilliant Diamond. With nerves of steel, nothing can perturb it. It is more agile and active than it appears. Pokemon Platinum, Black and White, and Pokemon Black and White 2. A comparison revealed that Bidoof's front teeth grow at the same rate as Rattata's. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Bidoof has an unsophisticated face and is rarely flustered by anything. There have been incidents involving Bidoof sauntering into villages and gnawing on the houses without a single care. Ambibomb. Ambibomb, Pokemon Diamond, Pokemon Y, Alpha Sapphire, and Brilliant Diamond. To eat, it deftly shucks nuts with its two tails. It rarely uses its arms now. Pokemon Ultra Sun. In their search for comfortable trees, they get into territorial disputes with groups of Passimian. They win about half the time. Pokemon Ultra Moon. If it wraps both of its tails around you and gives you a squeeze, that's proof it really likes you. Pokemon Legends Arceus. To affirm their kinship, members of this species will form a ring by linking their newly doubled tails together. On rare occasions, humans have been accepted into such rings. Baneri. Pokemon Pearl, Pokemon Y, Alpha Sapphire, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. When it senses danger, it perks up its ears. On cold nights, it sleeps with its head tucked into its fur. Pokemon Sword. If both of Baneri's ears are rolled up, something is wrong with its body or mind. It's a sure sign the Pokemon is in need of care. Pokemon Shield. Baneri can attack by rolling up their ears and then striking with a force created by unrolling them. This attack becomes stronger with training. Low Bunny. Pokemon Ultra Sun. Low Bunny regrows its coat twice a year. Mufflers and hats made from its fur are really warm. Pokemon Ultra Moon. It's notably wary and has a dislike of fighting, but at the same time, it can deliver powerful kicks with its lithe legs. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Its fur is warm and yet remarkably light. This Pokemon kicks as though it were a master of karate, driving back its opponents with ease. Glameow. Pokemon Diamond, Pokemon X, Omega Ruby, and Brilliant Diamond. It claws if displeased and purrs when affectionate. Its fickleness is very popular among some. Pokemon Platinum, Black and White, and Pokemon Black and White 2. It hides its spiteful tendency of hooking its claws into the nose of its trainer if it isn't fed. Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Pokemon Y, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. When it's happy, Glameow demonstrates beautiful movements of its tail, like a dancing ribbon. Purr ugly. Purr ugly. Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. It is a brazen brute that barges its way into another Pokemon's nest and claims it as its own. Pokemon Pearl, Pokemon Y, Alpha Sapphire, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. To make itself appear intimidatingly beefy, it tightly cinches its waist with its twin tails. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Though impudent and difficult to tame, Purugly enjoys great popularity due to its fur, the beauty of which surpasses even Velveteen. Happiny, happiny, happiny. Happiny. Pokemon Moon. It's too small to lay eggs yet. As a surrogate, it searches out round white stones. Pokemon Ultra Moon. When it sees something round and white, Happiny puts it into the pouch on its stomach. It sometimes becomes overloaded and can't move. Pokemon Sword. Mimicking Chansey, Happiny will place an egg-shaped stone in its belly pouch. Happiny will treasure this stone. Pokemon Shield. Happini's willing to lend its precious round stone to those it's friendly with. But if the stone isn't returned, Happiny will cry and throw a tantrum. Munchlax, 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 Munchlax. Munchlax. Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon X, and Omega Ruby. In its desperation to gulp down food, it forgets about the food it has hidden under its fur. Pokemon Sword. Stuffing itself with vast amounts of food is its only concern, whether the food is rotten or fresh, yummy or tasteless. It does not care. Pokemon Shield. It stores food beneath its fur. It might share just one bite, but only if it really trusts you. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Its robust stomach allows it to nonchalantly devour even rotted matter. It pays frequent visits to villages, seeking out food scraps intended for compost. Licky, 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 licky. Licky, licky. Pokemon Soul Silver. It has space in its throat to store saliva. It can also roll up its tongue and store it in the same spot. Pokemon Black and White 2, Pokemon Y, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Their saliva contains lots of components that can dissolve anything. The numbness caused by their lick does not dissipate. Pokemon Ultra Sun. A contest is underway to determine which one can stick its tongue out the farthest. The current record is more than 82 feet. Porygon Z, Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Pokemon Y, and Alpha Sapphire. Its programming was modified to enable it to travel through alien dimensions. Seems there might have been an error. Pokemon Ultra Sun. Its behavior is noticeably unstable, which is apparently due to the incompetence of the engineer who updated its programming. Pokemon Legends Arceus. A curious item induced this evolution. The Pokemon's offensive capabilities have greatly increased, but the strangeness of its behavior has magnified in equal measure. This worries me. Regigigas, Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Pokemon Y, Alpha Sapphire, Brilliant Diamond, and Pokemon Shining Pearl. There is an enduring legend that states this Pokemon towed continents with ropes. Pokemon Platinum, Black and White 2, Pokemon X, and Omega Ruby. It is said to have made Pokemon that look like itself from a special ice mountain, rocks, and magma. Arceus, Pokemon Diamond and Brilliant Diamond. It is described in mythology as the Pokemon that shaped the universe with its 1,000 arms. Pokemon Platinum, Black and White, and Pokemon Black and White 2. It is said to have emerged from an egg in a place where there was nothing, then shaped the world. Pokemon Legends Arceus. It is the heavenly fount from which pours the light that shines across Hisui. Its luminance guides and protects all Pokemon. Hisuian mythology states that Arceus is the creator of all things. Pat Rat, Pokemon Black, Pokemon X, and Omega Ruby. Using food stored in cheek pouches, they can keep watch for days. They use their tails to communicate with others. Watchog, Pokemon Black, Pokemon Y, and Alpha Sapphire. When they see an enemy, their tails stand high and they spit the seeds of berries stored in their cheek pouches. Pokemon Black and White 2, Pokemon X, and Omega Ruby. Using luminescent matter, it makes its eyes and body glow and stuns attacking opponents. Lillipup, Pokemon Moon. The long fur surrounding its face functions as radar, enabling it to probe the condition of its battle opponents. Pokemon Ultra Sun. This Pokemon has excellent judgment. If it decides it can't defeat an opponent, it immediately turns tail and vamooses. Pokemon Shield. This Pokemon is far brighter than the average child, and Lillipup won't forget the love it receives, or any abuse it suffers. Herdier. Pokemon White. It loyally follows its trainer's orders. For ages, they have helped trainers raise Pokemon. Pokemon Ultra Sun. The longer its black fur grows, the harder and more impervious it gets. Claws and fangs can't easily penetrate it. Pokemon Sword. Herdier. So much so that there's a theory that Herdier was the first Pokemon to partner with people. Stoutland. Pokemon Black, Pokemon X, and Omega Ruby. It rescues people stranded by blizzards in the mountains. Its shaggy fur shields it from the cold. Pokemon Ultra Sun. It pays no mind to the cold thanks to its long warm coat. Stoutland and Alola look a little uncomfortable. Pokemon Shield. Stoutland is immensely proud of its impressive mustache. It's said that mustache length is what determines social standing among this species. Audino. Pokemon White. Its auditory sense is astounding, It has a radar-like ability to understand its surroundings through slight sounds. Pokemon Black and White 2, Pokemon X, and Omega Ruby. Using the feelers on its ears, it can tell how someone is feeling or when an egg might hatch. Hisuian Zorua. Pokemon Legends Arceus. A once departed soul returned to life in Hisui. Derives power from resentment, which rises as energy atop its head and takes on the forms of foes. In this way, Zorua vents lingering malice. Hisuian Zoroark. Pokemon Legends Arceus. With its disheveled white fur, it looks like an embodiment of death. Heedless of its own safety, Zoroark attacks its nemesis. With a bitter energy so intense, it lacerates Zoroark's own body. Mingino. Pokemon White, Pokemon Y, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. These Pokemon prefer a tidy habitat. They are always sweeping and dusting, using their tails as brooms. Pokemon Ultramoon. When its tail has gotten dirty from self-cleaning or from cleaning its nest, Mingino spends a whole day washing its tail in clean spring water. Pokemon Shield. They pet each other with their tails as a form of greeting. Of the two, the one whose tail is fluffier is a bit more boastful. Senchino. Pokemon Black. Their white fur is coated in a special oil that makes it easy for them to deflect attacks. Pokemon Ultramoon. The oil that seeps from its body is really smooth. For people troubled by bad skin, this oil is an effective treatment. Boofaland. Pokemon Black and White 2. They are known to charge so wildly that if a train were to enter their territory, they would send it flying. Pokemon Shield. These Pokemon live in herds of about 20 individuals. Boofaland that betray the herd will lose the hair on their heads for some reason. Bunnelby. Pokemon Y and Alpha Sapphire. It has ears like shovels. Digging holes strengthens its ears so much that they can sever thick roots effortlessly. Pokemon Shield. It's very sensitive to danger. The sound of Corviknight's flapping will have Bunnelby digging a hole to hide underground in moments. Furfrou. Pokemon X and Omega Ruby. Trimming its fluffy fur not only makes it more elegant, but also increases the swiftness of its movements. Pokemon Y and Alpha Sapphire. Historically, in the Kalos region, these Pokemon were the designated guardians of the king. Young Goose. Pokemon Moon. It wanders around in a never-ending search for food. At dusk, it collapses from exhaustion and falls asleep on the spot. Pokemon Ultra Sun. Its stomach takes up most of its long torso. It's a big eater, so the amount trainers have to spend on its food is no laughing matter. Pokemon Ultra Moon. Although it will eat anything, it prefers fresh living things, so it marches down streets in search of prey. Gumshoos. Pokemon Moon. It adores having Rattata and Raticate for dinner, but as it's diurnal, it never encounters them. This Pokemon boasts incredible patience. Pokemon Ultra Sun. Although it wasn't originally found in Alola, this Pokemon was brought over a long time ago when there was a huge Rattata outbreak. Type No. Pokemon Sun. The heavy control mask it wears suppresses its intrinsic capabilities. this Pokemon has some hidden special power. Pokemon Ultra Sun, a Pokemon developed for a specific mission. It went berserk during an experiment, so it was cryogenically frozen. Silvally, Pokemon Moon. Although its name was typed Null at first, the boy who evolved it into this form gave it the name by which it is now known. Pokemon Sword. A solid bond of trust between this Pokemon and its trainer awakened the strength hidden within Silvally. It can change its type at will. Kamala, Pokemon Moon. The log it holds was given to it by its parents at birth. It has also been known to cling to the arm of a friendly trainer. Pokemon Ultra Moon. It remains asleep from birth to death as a result of the sedative properties of the leaves that form its diet. Pokemon Violet. A potent anesthetic can be made by diluting Kamala's drool. This anesthetic was used for surgeries in the past. Squovet. Pokemon Scarlet. It stores berries in its cheeks. When there are no berries to be found, Squovet will stuff pebbles into its cheeks to stave off its cravings. Pokemon Violet. No matter how much it stuffs its belly with food, it is always anxious about getting hungry again, so it stashes berries in its cheeks and tail. Greedent. Pokemon Sword. It stashes berries in its tail, so many berries that they fall out constantly. But this Pokemon is a bit slow-witted, so it doesn't notice the loss. Pokemon Scarlet. If it spots a berry tree, it will immediately go to gather berries without a sideways glance, even if it's in the middle of a battle. Wooloo, Pokemon Sword. Its curly fleece is such an effective cushion that this Pokemon could fall off a cliff and stand right back up at the bottom unharmed. Dubwool, Pokemon Sword. Weave a carpet from its springy wool, and you end up with something closer to a trampoline. You'll start to bounce the moment you set foot on it. Ursaluna, an Ursaluna Blood Moon. Pokemon Legends Arceus. I believe it was Hisui's swampy terrain that gave Ursaluna its burly physique and newfound capacity to manipulate Pete at will. Lechonk. Pokemon Violet. This Pokemon spurns all but the finest of foods. Its body gives off an herb-like scent that bug Pokemon detest. Oink, 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 oink. Oinkologne. Male. Pokemon Scarlet. Oinkologne is proud of its fine glossy skin. It emits a concentrated scent from the tip of its tail. Oink, 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 oink. Oinkologne Female. Pokemon Scarlet. This Pokemon scents a flower-like scent wafting about. Well-developed muscles in its legs allow it to leap more than 16 feet with no trouble at all. Mousehold. Family of 4. Pokemon Violet. The larger pair protects the little ones during battles. When facing strong opponents, the whole group will join the fight. Mousehold. Family of 3. Pokemon Violet. This little one just appeared one day. They all live together like a family, but the relationship between the three is still unclear. Smoliv. Pokemon Scarlet. It protects itself from enemies by emitting oil from the fruit on its head. This oil is bitter and astringent enough to make someone flinch. Dolliv. Pokemon Violet. It basks in the sun to its heart content until the goes on a journey. Our Pokemon Scarlet. This calm Pokemon is very compassionate. It will share its delicious, nutrient-rich oil with weakened Pokemon. Veritera. Pokemon Scarlet. Now that the brain waves from the head and tail are synced up, the psychic power of this Pokemon is 10 times stronger than Girafarex. The Dunsparce 2-segment form. Pokemon Scarlet. This Pokemon uses its hard tail to make its nest by boring holes into bedrock deep underground. The nest can reach lengths of over 6 miles. The Dunsparce 3-segment form. Pokemon Scarlet. The gentle Dunsparce will put Pokemon that wander into its nest onto its back and carry them to the entrance. Pokemon Violet. A recent study uncovered that the number of segments a Dunsparce's body has is determined by the Pokemon's genes. Terrapagos. Normal form. Pokemon Scarlet. Terrapagos protects itself using its power to transform energy into hard crystals. This Pokemon is the source of the Terrastol phenomenon. Terrapagos. Terrestrial form. Pokemon Violet. The shell is made of crystallized Terrastol energy. When struck by a move, this shell absorbs the move's energy and transfers it to Terrapagos. Terrapagos. Stellar form. Pokemon Scarlet. In this form, Terrapagos resembles the world as the ancients saw it, and its Terrastol energy is abnormally amplified. That was our last entry for our Normal Pokemon Pokedex readings. But before you drift off to sleep, I have a question to ask. If you were just a normal person in the Pokemon world, not a trainer, not a researcher, not a team grunt, what normal type Pokemon would you like to live with in your everyday normal life? I have 2 options I thought about. The first one is definitely Chansey. I've always adored Chansey, especially in the anime with Nurse Joy. And as a person who is very weak-bodied and usually sick, having a Pokemon that is kind and can heal me in short notice would be perfect for me. I also really love eggs, and the fact that Chansey's eggs are delicious, I really have to try it. I'm gonna cook it up hard-boiled, soft-boiled, runny, scrambled, sunny side up, in an omelet, you name it, I am trying it with that Chansey egg. As a person who loves food and is always usually sick, it's the perfect Pokemon to keep me company in my everyday life. My secondary choice is a Teddiursa, and that is because it just looks so stinking cute, and I would love to have a baby bear Pokemon in my everyday life, and it is attracted to honey, and it can lead me to honey. It's perfect because I love sweet things, and honey is nature's natural sweetener. So again, as a foodie, it's the perfect Pokemon to have in everyday life, but it's also very much a cutie patootie. And those are the 2 normal types I would love to have as a normal person in the Pokemon world. Let me know your choices. With that said,